Hi guys, Serge from NinaVova Custom Jewelry here. Today we're going to be talking about the huge topic, it's actually that big, of how to choose your perfect diamond, your center stone for the engagement ring. And I'll explain you why sometimes the better stone costs less than the bad stones. And there's many ways to approach this topic, and most of the people would start with a carat weight, and most of the stores would push you to start with a carat weight actually as well. But I'll explain you why it is a wrong way of doing that, and also why it's very confusing and it's creating way more questions than the answers. We're gonna go through each and every C, all of 4 of them, and I'll actually show you why sometimes there's 3 C's and what to do with that. So pause this video, grab your favorite drink, sit down, it's gonna take a long time. But at the end of this video, you'll be much more confident on making such an expensive purchase, and you're gonna know exactly what you're buying. First of all, we have to answer a very important question of why you're actually buying the diamond. And I'm not talking here about why you chose the diamond out of all of the gemstones that are available for us. That's the topic for the separate video. I'm talking about the purpose of buying the diamond. Do you buy it as an investment piece to save money or possibly make money? Or you buying this to celebrate your special event and make your partner a little bit happier. Probably if you're watching this video, the second. And this is very important thing to keep in mind when you choosing the specification of your diamond, especially the clarity and color, and I'll explain you later why. Since 70s, we have a huge advantage. We have the diamond certificates. This one probably most common and definitely most trusted one, the GIA, Gemology Institute of America. It's actually here like an hour away from me, which is very convenient. I personally wouldn't trust any other certificate, maybe except for HRD. They just not consistent enough for me to make an expensive purchase. I would definitely not recommend to buy the diamond without certificate at all, unless you're a professional gemologist, and if you are, you're probably not going to look at this video at all. Later in this video, we're going to go through each and every point of this certificate. I will explain you where to start, what to look for, where you can sacrifice a little, and where you can gain way more than you're actually sacrificing. So without any further ado, let's start. And as I promised to you at the beginning of the video, we're not going to be starting from the carat weight, we're going to be starting from the cut. And by cut, it doesn't mean the shape of the diamond, I mean the quality of the cut. And probably at the end of this video, you'll be like, now I know why he did it, now everything makes sense. But for right now, just trust me and stay until the end with me. So we determined why do we buy the diamond. We buy the diamond to make our partner happy, to make our partner smile. And in order to do that, the diamond needs to spark. It's brilliant, from the ancient Greek bri, to spark. And the quality of the cut affects how much diamond sparks. The clarity doesn't affect that as much. It's actually affected very little. The color of the diamond does not affect that as well. The quality of the cut affects how much light gonna go to the diamond and gonna exit the diamond as well. As I mentioned before, we want the diamond to spark, and in order to do that, we want all the light that goes into the diamond exit the diamond through the table. So if you're looking at the excellent cut or very good cut, pretty much all the light that goes into the diamond would exit the diamond through the table, no matter where it's entered the diamond, from the top or a little bit from the side, it's going to exit the diamond from the table. If we're talking about the tall diamond, most of the light going to bounce from one side to another and going to exit the diamond somewhere right over here from the side. Only a fraction of light that enters the diamond going to exit the diamond from the table, and that's not where we want it to go. Same thing happened with the shallow diamonds. When the light enters the diamond right over here, it's going to exit right from the bottom. And again, that's not where we want it to exit. We can slightly fix this situation by allowing the light goes from the bottom, and in this case, it's going to exit from the table, but it's not going to be much. It's going to be about 30%. And this is very important to understand because the sparks created by the exiting light meeting the new light right over here on the surface, and when they bounce into each other, we see the sparks right over here, right where we want to see them. We don't want to see them right over here on the side or right over here on the bottom. We want to have them right over here. And you might ask, why do we have these different cuts? So let's take a look at the raw diamonds and the way they cut. Let's say we have two identical raw diamonds and we need to cut the precious stone out of it. So you have a choice really here. You can do the tall diamond, you can do sort of a good cut or close to this. But again, as I mentioned, it's not going to reflect the light the way it should, but it's going to weight more. This diamond going to weight about 1.3 carat, let's say. On the other side, you can do the excellent cut, but what are you going to do with this material that left? You can do the smaller diamonds, but they're not going to cost as much. And this diamond would be about 0.9 carat, let's say. And if you don't know information about the cut, this diamond probably would be a little bit more appealing for you because you're going to start looking from the carat weight and you're going to look at the 1.3 carat. And the price in the store, let's say, would be somewhere about 5,600. And this stone probably would cost somewhere around 5,300. And if you're looking from the carat point of view, you'll be like, well, I can pay $300 more and get much bigger diamond. But in reality, this diamond visually would be much smaller. First of all, the table size would be much smaller than on this diamond. And on the opposite side, this diamond not gonna spark at all. And what usually happens on the market, like when a professional buys this diamond would obviously be cheaper for the professional, but the store would try to sell it more expensive. And usually on the market, you will see this this way. They're gonna put, instead of the cut, they're gonna put something like round, and for the carat weight they might put 1.3, or usually they're gonna try to sell you the whole ring and they're gonna put something like 1.6 total carat weight, or usually carat total weight, because there is only one difference in one letter and it's easier to confuse the buyer. Where the other stores that really care about their reviews, they would put cut excellent, and they would put the actual carat total weight 0.9. And when you don't know much about the diamond, this diamond might look better for you, but in reality, this diamond would be smaller, more expensive, not going to spark. And on the opposite side, this diamond would spark way more, gonna have this beautiful brilliance that we're looking in the diamonds. And again, I will repeat myself that this diamond not really going to spark. It's gonna be like almost like a glass, really. And this diamond visually would be about the same with this one as well. You're not gonna see really this difference, but the table size would be about the same with this one, no matter the difference in the weight, because the weight is going to go right over here, basically. The other thing, that the resale value on the market would be much higher on this diamond. This diamond would be pretty much impossible to sell. Not that it's matter on the engagement ring market, but sometimes when people complaining that they cannot sell their engagement ring diamonds, we're probably talking about these diamonds. No one really wants them. So be very careful and start with the cut. Do not start with the carat. And now the fun part, as I promised. Only round stones has 4 Cs. That's right. The emeralds, marquise, and other fancy cuts doesn't have 4 Cs. They only have 3 Cs. Let's take a look at the GIA report. As you can see over here, we have the emerald cut diamond, and you can see the carat, you can see the color, and you can see the clarity, but you cannot see the cut right over here. So what are you going to do in this case? You have to look at polishing, symmetry, and you also have to look at the proportions, and you have to know what proportions are right for this specific diamonds. And for example, in the emerald cut, we can have a little bit taller diamonds, we can have a little bit wider diamonds. It depends on the preferences and depends on the type of jewelry we actually making. So each jewelry would require slightly different stones. I wouldn't really recommend to go just by yourself very deeply in this topic. I would recommend you to trust to your jeweler to pick the right stone, because again, if the proportion is not right, this diamond not going to spark, it's not going to have this beautiful brilliance. And sometimes when I'm going to the different retail stores website, they have the cut section for the emerald cut diamonds. It's not true. Do not trust this part. You can go to the GIA website and they have the confirmation there. What we usually do in our case, we ask in our clients what kind of budget do they have, what is more important for them, the carat weight or the color or the clarity, and we explain in advance what to look for specifically. And then we going out there and choosing 1 or 2 stones out of 10, let's say, and sending these stones to the potential customers, explaining in each and every details why you should pick this stone or why you should pick this one, what's better on option 1, what's better on the option 2, and trying to guide through this process. You cannot become the gemologist by just watching this video or watching like 50 hours of video or something like that. That's a 4-year process really, but it's very good to know the basics. So you're talking the same language with the professional. But again, if you're buying the fancy cut diamond, you don't want to go on your own. You want to trust your jeweler in choosing the best stone for you. We personally would never buy a bad stone that we're not going to purchase for ourselves, and we will explain carefully why you shouldn't buy these stones. So in our case, we're not asking you to make $5,000 or $10,000 decision about the thing that you were never really interested before. We guide you through the process and we pick in the best options for you, and you going to pick out of these options. First of all, what we need to know that the colors does not affect the sparks. The other thing that the colors, the color of the diamond should be chosen knowing what kind of setting are you going to have, what kind of style, what kind of color of the setting you're going to have. Let's start from the beginning. D and A colors, quite expensive, and usually an investment colors. So it's quite inexpensive to use these colors in the jewelry. F and G colors are almost white to the naked eye, and you probably want to use them in the platinum setting or the white gold setting. At the same time, if you have yellow gold or rose gold, doesn't matter, 14 karat or 18 karat, you can go all the way down to H, I, or even G. And that would be absolutely great option. On the contrast with your yellow setting, you're not going to see as much yellowishness, if it's even the word, of your diamond. So it would be absolutely pleasant for the naked eye. I wouldn't really recommend to go with the K and the rest of the colors. It's not going to work really. And if you have the yellow diamond, you should look specifically for a yellow diamond. But again, this is pretty expensive colors. You don't want really to use them. In reality, under the natural light, you're not going to see the difference between D, E, and F, let's say. But F and G is pretty good colors, even for the platinum settings, for the white gold settings. I actually want to show you the ring that we recently made. This one made in a platinum setting. And as you can see, it's absolutely white, beautiful diamond right over here, almost 1 carat. And in a GIA report, you can see the color grade, it's G. So it's absolutely white to the naked eye, and it's right over here. Probably you can go lower, but I wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't recommend doing that if you have the white gold or platinum. And again, if you have the rose gold or yellow, go easily with H, I, and G. You better move this money towards the size of your stone or towards the design of the setting, rather than chasing the perfect whiteness of the diamond on the left side of the scale. Very common question actually, why do we start from D? Well, that's happened because when we created this system, this chart, not we created, GIA created, they left A, B, C for the whiter diamonds, even whiter than this one. It is very much possible that Telestian diamond would be much whiter than the one that we have here on Earth. We don't really know that, but just in case, ABC is left for this type of diamonds. As I mentioned before, you cannot just pick the colors by itself. You have to look at it through the design of your setting and the way you're going to place your diamond on the setting. Let's say in this ring, it's probably not that obvious, but this side diamonds would have to match the center diamond. That's very important. I've seen tons of hello rings, the pre-made rings from the main retailers, I would say, that has different colors of the diamonds. For example, you have the center diamond right over here, and you have a bunch of small ones. And if your center stone is, let's say, H color, the rest of the diamonds should be the same color, H or at least G. You cannot go really lower than that or higher than that, because you're going to see the difference. What usually happens in the big stores when the rings are pre-made, the setting itself goes with a H or G color or even F color with the absolutely wide small diamonds. The price difference between the very small diamonds in F color and H color won't be significant. But when the customer choosing the center stone, they usually go with, let's say, H or I diamond, and it's doesn't look like a yellowish one until you put it in the setting. And when you do that, you'll clearly see the difference between this center stone and this little stones right over here. And actually, this type of pre-made setting has the other thing to worry about. Even if you bought the round diamond, it's not usually perfectly round. On one side, it would be 6.2 millimeter, and on the other side, it would be about 6.0. So this little gaps that's created, the gap of 0.1 millimeter on each side would be visible actually when the light would hit the stone, and you will see it on this side and on this side. And since the setting pre-made, they cannot really fix it and make it fit perfectly to the stone. That would be a huge difference between actually custom pieces that made around the specific diamond and with the setting that already made. So if you're buying the ring somewhere else, and I don't know why would you do that when you have us, take a look carefully at these two things. I hope that everything makes sense and it was clear to understand. If not, please leave your questions in the comments. I'm always looking the ways to upgrade my videos. But again, what I want to highlight over here that you cannot choose the color just by itself. You have to keep in mind the color of your setting, you have to keep in mind the design of your setting, you also have to look at the side stones. If you have one, they also have to match to each other. Otherwise, you can overpay for the color or underpay for it and have slightly weird center stone, a slightly yellowish color, and absolutely white side stones around it. And I've seen tons of the rings like that. Gladly, we didn't make any, but I've seen tons of them on different forums. And also that some of you might know that I have photo video production here in Los Angeles, and we're doing tons of weddings. And I've seen few halo rings with this kind of issues. So be aware of that. Choose your color wisely. Next on the line, inclusion. So let's talk about the clarity. Let's look at the chart a little bit closer. So over here we have flowless, we have internally flowless, we have very, very slightly included, we have very, very slightly included 2, we have very slightly included, very slightly included 2, slightly included 1, slightly included 2. We also have included 1, included 2, but we're not looking at them because, again, we're looking at the very beautiful stone for your engagement ring, and we don't want to have too many inclusions in our engagement ring. At the same time, we're not looking at these stones. They are quite expensive. Most of the time, they are investment stones. They are always very desirable on the market, but they are just too expensive to use them in the jewelry overall. We're looking at right at the middle. And usually you can easily find the very good diamonds all the way up to SA1. At the same time, you have to keep in mind that the same grading can mean different things. For example, over here we have 2 diamonds. Again, for example, we have 2 diamonds right over here, and both of them SI1. And on the diamond in the left picture, we're gonna have 3 very big inclusions right over here in the middle, and we don't want that for our engagement ring. At the same time, in this stone, we're gonna have 13 inclusions. But they are going to be right over here on the perimeter, and they would be so small that we're not going to see them. And some of them that they are slightly bigger, we can cover with the prongs. So this diamond would be much more desirable for us than this one, but they're going to be graded absolutely the same, and they're going to cost absolutely the same as well. So my approach in this situation overall, I'm always looking at all of the stones unless the client wants specifically VVS1 or VVS2. That's also happened as well. But I'm usually looking at all of these gradings, and usually out of 10 diamonds, let's say, I can find the 6 good ones in this range right over here. At the same time, out of all of these ranges, I can find 2 good diamonds out of 10. And we only need 1. We don't need 2. We only need 1 good diamond. So you can go through 20 of them and find a very good one that's suited very well for your specific ring, for your specific setting design. Also, I want to point out one thing that not many people are really thinking about when they buy their diamond. They want it to be as clear as possible, and probably the seller wants this diamond to be as clear as possible. But you're going to wear it through the days. You're going to be using this diamond through the different activities. The pieces of clothes, the pieces of dust always gonna go under your prongs or in the little holes right over here, and that will affect the clarity of the diamond. So it's never gonna be VVS1. And for example, again, the experience from the real life, if you just put the lotion on your hands when the rings is on, your diamond really gonna go from VVS1 to SI1 right away. and you're not gonna get rid of this cosmetic product until you steam the ring or professionally clean it at the jewelry store. And you're probably not gonna do that too often. You're probably gonna do that like once in 2 years or so. So what I wanted to say, do not be too concerned with the numbers, with the letters right over here. Look specifically at each and every stone. And let's say if your diamond has a couple of inclusions right in the middle over here and you don't like them, they are very visible, do not buy this stone. But if you're looking at SI1 and it has few inclusions that are not visible for the naked eye, get it, really get it. There is nothing wrong with buying this stone. There is some of the client who really wants VVS 1. They are very specific with that, and we always going to be searching for this specific VVS 1 stone. But most of the times we're going from the budget, and clients usually say to us, okay, we have this certain budget and we want the best under this budget. Well, in this case, I'm explaining what I just said to you. And this actually, this diamond actually VS1, and it's perfectly clean when you're looking at it from the top or from any other side. And actually all of the inclusions right here on the side, and they are covered with the setting itself with the beautiful basil prong. And we had this design in mind. We knew how this specific engagement ring going to look like. And we were searching for this specific emerald diamond for this specific setting. So we knew how the setting going to cover this inclusions. And we also actually were searching for this specific stone because we had the picture of the hand, the future owner, and we knew that we want slightly taller diamond. So again, that's the beauty about the custom pieces, that you know in all these factors, you can do the best job under the reasonable budget. So again, to conclude all that, we're not looking below VS2. If you're really tight on the budget, we would consider SI1, but we don't really want to go lower than that. But again, we're not looking to buy 10 of them, we're looking to buy just one of them. So now finally, let's take a look at the Carat. Why finally? Because I'm recording this for the second day. The Carat, pretty much all you need to know about it, that it does not equal the size. That's pretty much it. Actually, in all the seriousness, the carat refers to the weight of the precious stone or other metals. Carat means 200 gram. Why carat actually? It comes from the ancient Greek carat, and they used to use it in an ancient world to weigh the precious stones, the gemstones, and the gold. And it used to use all over the world until 15th century. The carat seeds usually 200 milligrams, slightly more, slightly less, but that was good enough for Greeks, for Romans, and then it just spread throughout the world. But again, the most important thing that you have to keep in mind that the carat doesn't mean size. When we shopping for the engagement ring, we care about the table size right over here. And as I mentioned before, when we were talking about the cats, the different cuts, in a good cut, we can have the tall diamond. And the table size would be significantly smaller than in a similar perfect cut, let's say like this one. For example, specifically, in an excellent cut over here in 1 carat stone, you're gonna have 6.3, 6.2 millimeter table somewhere right over here. In the tall diamond like this one, you're gonna have 5.8, and it's actually gonna weight more. It's gonna weight like 1.3 carat instead of 1 carat. So again, as I said previously, you're gonna pay more, but you're actually gonna get less. So that's why the cut quality is very, very important, and that's why we started. And there is one more important thing that I want to mention under the Carat topic. Do not or try to not follow or chase exact numbers. Do not try to get exactly 1 carat stone. It's absolutely fine to get 0.97 carat or 0.43 carat, not exactly 1.5 carat. There is lots of stones in this range, so do not set exact number that you want to get. Look through the range. And I think it would be easier to understand when I conclude everything that what I just said. And finally, the conclusion. And why finally? Because it was 14 hours of recording and YouTube is hard, and please like this video. Probably by now you guessed why we started from the cut, not from the carat. We want our diamond to spark. We want it to be brilliant. We want our partner to be happier with this stone. So we started with the cut. Then we went to the color because again, we want our design, we want our setting to highlight the diamond. And without knowing what kind of setting we have, we cannot really choose the color. Similar thing goes to the situation, different situation with the hollow stones as I explained and everything else. Then we went to the clarity because numbers and letters doesn't always mean the same thing, and the VS1 stone can be as good as we want it to be. So it's not always about the numbers, it's about the specific inclusions in the stones. And finally, naturally, organically, we finished with the carat. Because when you know all these 3 characteristics, and let's say you're choosing the fancy cut, you're choosing the emerald cut like this one, and you don't know exact cut, but you know that the polish is perfect, symmetry is perfect, you know all these numbers are exactly what you want it to be. So you know all these 3 papers basically, and with them it's pretty easy to choose the carat. All that left is the price on the right side and the perfect stones on the left side after you filter them through this clarity, cut, and color. Everything is much simpler now. Now you just have to determine your budget, and I just want to make one step to the left and said that do not overly extend your budget. Always stay with your budget. Do not get into the loans or credits or anything like that. It's so many decisions in front of you, and it's so many ways to spend your money. And even if I'm selling the rings, I'm always telling to my clients, like, if you have $5,000 budget for the ring or $1,000 for the engagement ring, stay with it. There is so many ways to make your engagement ring much more special without spending additional money. You just can put a little bit more thoughts, a little bit more research into the ring, and it would be much more special than if you would just spend some additional sum of money into the ring. So, and again, back to highlighting everything. Now you know how to choose your perfect diamond, and I really hope you liked this video, and you better too after all of this recording. I'm gonna do the next videos about the styles, about the prongs, about many other things, but that's it for now. And again, thank you so much for watching.